You look fine, dear. Face value. For some reason, on our way to Maine one year when Duran Duran was trending, my mom made a pit stop in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. My M and P had been divorced for years, and this aunt wasn't even Mom's kinfolk. Who was this old woman? Aunt Adeline said, "It's a shame you inherited your father's acne." She was the only one who reported the alien invasion. I wanted to reply that at least I wouldn't be dead in 3 days or that I farted dust. But I just kept the tip of my baseball hat over my face, for the entire vacation. Such truth sabotaged confidence. Now at least I respect her candor. I could have asked for a dermatologist, but that meant money, and we didn't have much then. My mom said my face didn't look bad. She also would have lied that Quasimodo's hump wasn't that noticeable, or that her son Voldemort really wasn't that evil. My face could have been one huge blackhead, with my nose a gooey mass of pus, and Mom, may God curse bless, would have said the same thing. "You look fine, dear," but my acne wrecked me on harbor rocks while other guys sailed blithely away on sailboats with girls named Rio. What could be done? After all, I believed in self-reliance, hoisting my own sails. Scolding my face. Sitting in a bath, I ran hot water over a towel and flipped it back and forth, applying it to my face. That did not work. I resembled a steamed lobster. Ice cold showers. I'm not sure it closed pores, but it was miraculous and looking like a man undergoing a sex change operation. Shrinkage. That shriveled confidence. Since I heard soap clogged pores, I washed with dollar store shampoo. At least my zits smelled like lavender lace. Salt water. There were reports that salt water dried skin. Since I only swam in the ocean 2 or 3 times a year, I brought the sea to me. With the sink at high tide, I added a cup of salt and submerged my face. Repeatedly. "What happened to the salt?" "I have no idea, Mom," I said, concealing the empty container deeper into the trash. The tanning lamp. Since my dad said sun dried out the skin, I borrowed his heating lamp. After the divorce to appeal to the women, he was baking himself. We were doing the same thing, looking better for the lasses. It was a massive yellow contraption, like some wire mesh street lamp. I don't know, the beast probably gobbled 10,000 megawatts. Why is my electric bill $50 more this month? Not only was I going to be zitless, but the girls would flock to the dark Italian guy. I shut my bedroom, covered my eyes with cotton, and turned on the electric star. It hummed like a power generator. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon created heaven. 45 minutes later, when Roger Waters decides there's no dark side of the moon really, as a matter of fact, it's all dark, I turned off the sun. I fantasized. Everyone in the dark. How glorious. If I could charm with my wit, writing, and tinny high-pitched contratenor voice, did I need heating lamps and mirrors? But I had to face the face. At first, my zits looked stunned or stunted. Some of the dead white blood cells and bacteria, also called juicy, hot, disgusting pus, seemed to have been cooked off. Was I giving myself a dermabrasion? Would it work? Like Jesus telling the lepers to heal themselves? The next day, I went to school without looking at my face. I always showered in the dark. The mirror, my Darth Vader. Would my face look better, though, in a black helmet? I was Narcissus sans lake. Hell, if I couldn't face myself, why would any lass lap her lips on this lad? I looked as if I had overdosed on a kilo of carotene pills or devoured a farm of carrots. I had turned orange. My history teacher, Mr. Eastwick, asked, "What happened to your face, Walt?" I tried to burn off my zits. I was a maroon, crackered moron with marshmallow eyes. Like something Lennon imagined in Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I would suggest a dermatologist, he said. Freeze them. If burning wouldn't work, how about freezing? Heat miser meet snow miser. Well, extremely cold temperatures reduce zits, right? So what did I do? Raided the freezer, applied ice cubes. The dripping ice burned, but I withstood the pain. It would be worth it. I wrapped the towel around my neck and played The Doors' The End. When it was over, many knots of depression later, I stopped the pain. Cruising down a burning Vietnam river actually seemed less painful. Every night I did the river run, but to different songs. Freebird, Stairway to Heaven, Heard It Through the Grapevine. All the ice achieved, however, prune fingers. Who's not refilling the ice trays? Beats me, Mom. The worst part of the year came with those cheap Sears shots. You know what I'm talking about. The bad photography highlighted every downy flake of dandruff and pore. Really? You're going to hang that up in the living room? How about the attic? I told her she couldn't give that picture out to anyone. Oh, you look fine, dear. In fact, the only picture I ever approved was my senior portrait. It was airbrushed. For the first time, I didn't look too bad. A friend of mine had even worse acne than I did, and he was miraculously cured one day, and he suddenly had a girlfriend. Coincidence? Or was it an underground steroid from Uzbekistan? I dreamed of selling my soul at the crossroads, not to be a blues musician, but for a certified dermatologist. Did Eastwick know what he was talking about? Could he lend me $100? If I saw a zit begin to form, I would rub a towel over the problem area, but then I'd only have a chafed face with an embedded blackhead mountain. My zits woke me up. I would roll over. Bang. Pain. Tubes of Clearasil. When I started working, I bought over-the-counter topicals. Some women loved mud baths and the mud hardening to cleanse their face. So what did I do? Swamped my face in white goo, hibernated in my room, closed the door, and played Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. Did my face look like graffiti? Once the Clearasil hardened, I peeled off the layer. That didn't work. I felt like a hard-boiled egg. Portnoy's Complaint 2.0. Since I heard stress created more zits, I tried meditation and masturbation. Having bubble baths with candlelight and, of course, Simon and Garfunkel. I scrubbed the tub, eradicating all little happy Walters in the water. I was petrified. Really. Would I accidentally impregnate my mother during one of her nightly baths? My mom even thanked me for being a super man of the house who was using all the bubble bath. When I forgot to disinfect, I would shake, scared I might have a brother who was also my son. How long would my super sperm last? My baths were hot, and the bathroom got steamy. And what an acne problem that wacko child would have. Did I mention that science was really not my thing? Razor 'em. It was tough to have a beard. My hair, a wild man. Did I dare the guillotine? It got harder as my facial hair grew darker and redder. Then I thought, hey, let me shave off my zits. Well, that just left scars. One big hissy fit. Finally, I detonated a 17-year-old tantrum, pleading for a dermatologist. It was the only doctor I desired. I would rather have dengue fever than acne. I remember the skin doctor examining my face with gloves and saying, sub-cuticle, cystic, acute, malignant acneitis. Okay, yeah, moon craters. My zits were volcanoes of deep magna pus and angst. He ordered pills and froze my zits. Was I that far off with ice cubes? We went once or twice, but that was all. Again, all before the miracles of modern skincare like Accutane. Was the skin doctor, after all about vanity? For a while, the pills worked and the outbreak subsided in college finally, and I grew a hardy beard in grad school. I met my wife 1 week after the beard. Coincidence? Nay, my friends. I worried about shaving after marriage because I subconsciously thought she'd leave me. But fortunately, my pores have closed, and the therapy helped. Less stress and anxiety. Thank you, Rose and Vince. Perhaps I owe it not all to passing adolescence and genes, but to increased sexual activity. Hello, wife. Good riddance, Portnoy. I'm still terrorized, however, whenever a speck appears. Even if small, like on my leg. It's been a while. But if I ever see one, I'll either grow my beard longer or make immediate moves on my wife. Now I'm in love with the mirror. But there's a risk in drowning in looks, right? And when I drive by Old Saybrook with my wife and daughters on the way to Rhode Island, Cape Cod, or Maine, I say, "Look at me now, Aunt Adeline." And thank you.